Wonderful. So, Bruno, your pet, Savi. Okay, wonderful. Welcome, Bruno and Savi. Great. So, there are some words in Hindi or Sanskrit or Gujarati which just don't have an equivalent in English. You just can't find it. So, one such word which I not came across for the first time, but realized that this word has no equivalent in English. Um, and it's a very simple word which we have heard many, many times in prayer and in so many things. But so how do I do this? तेरा मंगल तेरा मंगल सबका मंगल होए। जिस जननी ने जन्म दिया उसका मंगल होए। तेरा मंगल तेरा मंगल सबका मंगल होए। जिस गुरुदेव ने धर्म दिया है उसका मंगल होए। इस जग के सब दुखियारों का उनका मंगल होए। जल में थल में और गगन में सबका मंगल होए। तेरा मंगल तेरा मंगल सबका मंगल होए। तेरा मंगल तेरा मंगल सबका मंगल होए। अंतर मन की गांठ ये टूटे अंतर निर्मल होए। शुद्ध धर्म धरती पर जागे पाप पराजित होए। इस धरती के तर दिन में इस धरती के तर दिन कण 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 में धर्म समाए। तेरा मंगल तेरा मंगल सबका मंगल होए, तेरा मंगल, तेरा मंगल, सबका मंगल होए, तेरा मंगल, तेरा मंगल, सबका मंगल होए। So wonderful. तो ये एक बहुत ही जैसे वैसे सामान्य शब्द है, सामान्य शब्द है, लेकिन अ, एक तो उसका एग्जैक्ट ट्रांसलेशन शायद नहीं कर पाते, और सर्टेनली इंग्लिश में उसका कोई इक्विवेलेंट वर्ड नहीं है। तो एनी गेसेस विच वर्ड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट? एब्सोल्युटली, मंगल। मंगल जो शब्द है, मंगल, मंगल हो, तेरा मंगल हो। सो रफली ट्रांसलेट करते हैं ऑस्पिशियस, बट इट्स नॉट एट ऑल, इट्स नॉट अबाउट ऑस्पिशियस। तेरा मंगल हो, so it is something much deeper than what the English language and the English or the Western culture has in its consciousness so far. We are used to wishing each other आपका शुभ हो, आपका अच्छा हो, आपका भला हो, your best wishes, may you be happy, may you be prosperous, may you be healthy, may you be wise, may you be wealthy, all that. But Mangal is beyond that. Tera Mangal ho.
Blessed.
Sorry?
Blessed.
Yeah, blessed also doesn't cut it. Approximate, yeah, you're blessed. But blessed with what? There is, Mangal has a certain quality of forget the translation in English, but the word Mangal
All
transcends,
inclusive.
yeah, it's all inclusive, and it includes wealth, health, and all that. That's okay, but it goes beyond health and wealth. It goes much beyond health and wealth. It is about, may you progress on this path. May your soul move ahead. May your soul get closer to truth. May your soul get closer to divine. And that can happen regardless of health, regardless of wealth. So, regardless of the best of circumstances. So, when you say, I wish you good health, or I wish you a lot of wealth, or I wish you luck, it's a little bit one-sided. But to wish Mangal, to wish that आपका मंगल हो, तेरा मंगल हो, it's sort of towards कल्याण, आपका कल्याण हो, और कल्याण किसी भी परिस्थिति में हो सकता है. All the other wishes talk about circumstances. परिस्थितियों के बारे में बात करें कि आप सुखी हो, आपका स्वास्थ्य अच्छा रहे, आपका घर समृद्ध हो. It's all circumstances. Let the circumstances be favorable. But circumstances in reality are favorable only sometimes. Whereas Mangal hona is a anytime, forever, under any circumstance. Mangal ho sakta hai aapka. You don't have to wait for some favorable situation. In fact, some of the unfavorable situations create more of a circumstance in which आपका मंगल होगा, आपका उसकी opportunity है. Usually people take unfavorable circumstances and want to push it away. They don't want the unfavorable circumstances and they want to create the favorable circumstances. Nothing wrong with that. But Mangal Hona is available and possible anywhere, anytime. It's about you moving forward in the direction that you want to go, which is towards love, which is towards truth. उस दिशा में आप आगे बढ़ें, that is the wish. उस दिशा में आप आगे बढ़े जिस दिशा में आप सचमुच जाना चाहते हो. May you proceed, may you progress in that direction where you really want to go. Mangal ho. So I heard this Tera Mangal, and the person who sang this, her name is Preeti Shah. So I always thought the song was Tera Mangal, Mera Mangal, Sabka Mangal Ho. Okay, Tera Mangal, Mera Mangal, Sabka Mangal Ho. But she sang it with a slight difference. Tera Mangal, Sabka Mangal Ho. Because when you say Tera Mangal, Mera Mangal, okay, it's a little bit of a give and take, a little bit of a trade. But the way she sang it was Tera Mangal, Sabka Mangal Ho. A very, very small difference, but it's a big difference. When your heart is wishing the best for you, उसमें आपका मंगल तो ऑटोमेटिक समा ही जाता है, डोंट वरी. जब आप दूसरों का मंगल चाहते हो, तो वो तो आ ही गया उसमें. इट इज ऑलरेडी पैकेज डील है वो. So and in that it's interesting कि एक शब्द, एक विचार कैसे पूरा दुनिया को देखने का एक नजरिया जो है उसको बदल सकता है. So for me, this word just resonated, and this phrase, Tera Mangal Ho. And and I was on my way to the gym today in the evening after listening to this, and the world was just magical, because anything I saw, every person that I saw, without any words, without knowing who they are sometimes, or most of the time not knowing who they are, the only wish or the only thought that came was Tera Mangal Ho. And the ability to see beneath the surface. एक जैसे तीसरी आंख को खोलकर पता नहीं क्या हम देखेंगे, लेकिन अगर हम प्रेम को देख पाते हैं, then that is a much more powerful eye. Let the third eye of love open. Underneath, थोड़ा सा सरफेस स्क्रैच करते हैं तो it is almost unbearable. It is almost unbearable. It is almost unbearable to feel that much love for no reason. for people who you don't even know. And the same lady said something also very beautiful. She said, there are no there are no strangers. There are no strangers. There are only people who you have not yet made friends with. There are no strangers. There are only people that you have not made friends with yet. So this thought was just so so I'm inviting all of you also to start opening this third eye of love. And it's not difficult. It is not at all difficult. You just have to go a little bit below the surface. Thoda sa. It's like, you know, those वो lucky scratch card आते हैं. वो scratch card कुछ दिखाई नहीं देता. Scratch card वो lottery के लिए आते हैं. Lucky numbers. Just scratch little bit और नीचे वो lucky 7 दिख जाएगा. Heart दिख जाएगा. उसका the life will become visible to you. And when that life that is, see, the surface is very confusing. Koi, you know, somebody's beautiful, somebody's not that beautiful, somebody's fat, somebody's thin, somebody has a, matlab, ekdam khadus expression leke ja rahe. So the mind only stops at that level usually. Usually it stops at that level. कि ये जाने दो खडूस है, ये just a little bit. If you go below the surface, you find you find something which you can't even describe. You find life, you find awareness, you find consciousness. That here is consciousness showing up with this kadus expression. Here is consciousness showing up as this whatever, maybe unpleasant looking person, or angry person, or powerful person, or beautiful person. Here is consciousness showing up like this. Here is consciousness showing up like this. And you see that consciousness, it becomes so available, so obvious, and so present. And why go far? Why go far? Why go to the street? I'm looking at each one of you and saying, oh my God. Ah, so, and I was just thinking, how do we practice that? And one thought I had is, see, ultimately, we can develop the ability to see this consciousness in each and everything. हर एक चीज में, हर एक व्यक्ति में, हर एक परिस्थिति में, वही जो वो है वो नजर आ जाएगा. But so with people, maybe it is a little bit not so easy because we have so many prejudices. If we see somebody, uh, I don't know, we have so many prejudices. If somebody is not well dressed, if somebody is not, um, you know, clean, maybe not fashionable, not rich, or not educated, or not, so many things, layers and layers, that it is hard for us to pierce past that. So I think we can eventually go to a point point where even in the inanimate objects, we start seeing that pulsing awareness, pulsing with consciousness. But maybe an easy place to start is animals. Animals, because especially with, you know, domestic animals. I don't know where that Bruno went. Savi with Bruno disappeared. But but uh, but with animals, हमारे पास उतना वो baggage नहीं है, prejudices नहीं है उतने. So maybe start with that where it's easy. You see a kitten or you see a dog or you see a puppy, you see a bird, and you simply, it's so easy to see the life that's underneath that pulsating, throbbing awareness, which is showing up in this form. And you see that. And the biggest, most obvious, and the most uh, sort of palpable quality of that life or that consciousness, the most easy to touch and easy to experience quality of that is love. And you just feel that love for that being. Maybe the next step is um, children, little babies. I think Purushottamji has an advantage. He's with babies and little kids all the time. But there again, we have less defenses, less charge, less prejudices, because they are so inherently trusting and loving and vulnerable and helpless that directly when you see them in the in I was reading some tradition, where country, maybe Africa, or was it Greenland? I'm forgetting. But the they say that the child is the um, is still so recently separated from divine that the divine qualities are still very much, still not, they are still not rubbed off with the all the things of life, and they're still in completely immersed with that divine love, that divine quality. तो उस कल्चर में ऐसी प्रथा है, they have a tradition that the laughter, the first laughter of a child, that first time when that child laughs, that is a very, very precious moment. And in that tradition, the person who makes the child laugh, that person is considered so special that they get the privilege of naming that child. Whoever it is, whoever it is that makes the child laugh for the first time is the person who gets to name that child. So ये एक बहुत ही समझने वाली बात है. So maybe start with animals and see the life, see the love, then children, babies, then graduate to older children, then maybe jump directly to older people, seniors, because there again, some of our defenses and charges are dropped because they are so frail and all that. And then maybe move to grown-ups, move to strangers, people you don't have a history with. And then finally, when you're really ready to graduate, then you move to your own spouse and see that, because that is the final challenge. That is the final test, because with them, there is so much history, there is so much charge, that is much more difficult to scratch that card and see the divine that is hiding in plain sight, as they say. And after that, graduate to to other, to nature, graduate to the ocean, the mountains, the rivers, the stars, and start seeing consciousness there and love that is just flowing everywhere. And then move to machines. Everywhere it's there. It's just a matter of developing that eye, developing that eye. But there's a footnote, मतलब जो छोटा सा जो fine print में होता है ना, I'll tell you the footnote is that it is overwhelming. ये बहुत ही एक इतना गहरा और इतना पावरफुल अनुभव है कि 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 आप अपने आप को रोक नहीं पाते हो. I mean, today, literally, this happened with me, and I literally had to stop myself. I, I was taking the car into the parking lot, and there is this security guard who sits in that one corner to make sure that you're not going to collide with another car. A big plump guy just sits on the chair all day, and I've seen him for many, many months. But today, as I parked the car and I was coming out, I literally just felt like going to him and giving him a big hug. And and I don't know what would have happened if I had done that. वो बेचारा shock हो जाता और क्या हो जाता पता नहीं. So, but this is what happened. I mean, I just looked at him and I was like, "Arey baap re, here's consciousness again in this form, standing here like a security guard." And what is there but to love that consciousness in this form? And so we don't have to literally act on that, but it is that powerful, and it is so that's the fine print, that if you find yourself in tears for no reason, if you find yourself wanting to hug people for no reason, then you know that something has shifted. But that is the the what do you call, notice board, PS, warning. वार्निंग, ये भी हो सकता है, ये हो सकता है. साइड इफेक्ट्स होती है ना मेडिसिन में, साइड इफेक्ट्स की फाइन प्रिंट में. तो ये कॉन्शियसनेस वाली जो दवाई है उसकी साइड इफेक्ट्स ये है कि आप बिना वजह रोने लगेंगे, लेने का मन करेगा. So those are the side effects of becoming more and more in tune, more and more aware. And it's overwhelming, but it's worth it, regardless of the side effects. Just like the medicine is worth it in spite of the whatever the side effect, you take the medicine because that's more important. And anyway, in this case, the side effects are very, very wonderful. So अगर ये साइड इफेक्ट्स हो भी जाते हैं तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. So finding that love, find the love, just find the love. It's like, there was my daughter's music teacher who taught her viola, and she was a very interesting and funny lady. And all her life, all she wanted to do was play music ever since she was a kid. Music, that's all she cared about. So she was sharing कि school में, all other subjects were so boring for her. She didn't want to have anything to do with them. And she said, वो algebra में बोलते हैं ना, solve for x. x to the power 3 minus 2x plus 2 equals to 0.5 and solve for x. She's like, I don't want to solve for x. I don't want to solve for x. I want to play the piano. I want to play the violin. But solve for x इसलिए याद है because I said find the love. The solve for x nahi, solve for love. Find x की जगह में find the love. Every equation that you come across in life, find the love. And it's there everywhere. This is what I'm realizing. This is what I'm discovering. It's there everywhere, no matter how hidden it looks and how many layers are covering it. Find the love. So simple example, all these Ganpati processions are going on, and I was in a bit of a hurry to get back home in time for our session, and there was a group of boys who were dancing on the street and obstructing the traffic. And my first reaction was, "Arey yaar, hat jao na. Why you want to dance, you dance, Baba, but why you have to, block traffic?" And then I remembered this: find the love, even in the most unpleasant of, find the love. What is the love? Love for life, love for Ganesh, love uh, for for dancing, love for music, love for rhythm. Oh, dhol baj raha hai jor jor se. And I said, oh, all they are doing is expressing love in this way. And then suddenly, of course, my irritation just kind of vanished, and I was like, I just waved and went on. Or in this case, may not be that difficult, but I think किसी भी परिस्थिति में, किसी भी जगह में, जो भी कर रहा है, कुछ भी जो भी कर रहा है, I think we can find the love. Find the love beneath all that, whatever they are doing. Find the love. And it's easy. Once you start doing this, it's easy. Just find the love and go to that and go with that and be with that and forget all the other things that are above that in covering that up. And no matter how annoying or how disturbing or how so quote unquote wrong आपको लगता है उस पल में, even under that so-called wrong thing, if you really look, you will find that there is something that they are loving and they are expressing that love for whatever that is. No matter what it is, it's love, only love. Beneath it is love. And once you find it, then you're home, because that's all you're looking for anyway. That's all we want. Wonderful. So, Anamika, please to repeat your question. मुझे अब याद भी नहीं. Of course, what I've said so far, all this is the answer to that question. I don't know if you're getting it, but this is the answer to that question. But anyway, let's go the थोड़ा सा detour लेके वहीं पे पहुंचेंगे. बताइए.
Do it. Unmute.
Yes. So yesterday, the session where we, concentrated on what is this consciousness made of. So whole day and whole night, I have been thinking about it. And
Good.
so what we talked today, I've always observed that when we carry a heart of a child, everything, everything looks so divine and everything looks so beautiful and so mine. So the simple answer to for me, for the simple answer to live a life like that is just be a child and let not your mind worry about things. So, but this question was hitting me that I understand this, I observe this, that even if this chair is there, it is me, nothing
Right.
else. If I'm wearing a Like, just like if I'm wearing a ring, it is not a ring, it is gold.
Yeah.
That
And
is
what is
how it is.
gold? And what is
What is
gold?
gold?
It's the color of the gold, the texture of the gold. And what
Yes.
is that? It's the knowing of it. And what is that? Is the awareness.
Yes. So from with me in 1880, we've come to this conclusion, and I've thought that, oh, I have figured it out. But then you came with another question: what is this consciousness made of? So I think only if you tell me, then only I can know that what is this consciousness made of.
Hmm.
Because fire cannot know what is fire made of. Can fire know that what it is made of?
Hmm.
So because Sanjivji has said that consciousness is nothing,
Nothing.
so I don't want to accept it. I want to think about it more. I want to experience it, that yes, it is nothing. Just like I experience everything, and everything looks so divine and so beautiful and so mine now.
Right. Right. Great. Great. So that is, yeah, correct. So everything is consciousness, right? You're with me till that point. Everything is consciousness. And you know it, that everything is emerging out of this formless, beginningless, endless space, and everything emerges out of that, takes shape and form and a duration and space and time, and eventually disappears back into this same source from which it came. And supposing we were to describe nothing, supposing मैं कहूँ कि okay, take a pen and paper and start writing a description of nothing. Okay, what is nothing like? Nothing का description अगर लिखने बैठोगे, you would have to say that if it's nothing, then can it have a shape? It cannot have a shape, because if it has a shape, it will be something. So it cannot have a shape. Can it have a size? Well, it can have a size, because if it has a size, it'll be something. So nothing cannot have a size. Nothing cannot have a shape. Can it have a color? It cannot have a color, because if it has a color, it's something. So it cannot have a color. So it cannot have a color, it cannot have a shape, it cannot have a size. In fact, can it have a beginning? If it begins, then it's something. Can it have an end? If it ends, then it was something. But you are saying is nothing. So it cannot have a beginning, cannot have an end, cannot have a shape, cannot have a size, cannot have a color, cannot have a smell, cannot have a form, cannot have a no qualities at all. Only then it is nothing. अच्छा अभी ये लिख दिया, उसको बंद कर दो, दूसरा पेपर लो. Now write a description of awareness. Write a description of this divine consciousness from which you directly, which you sense, which you experience and know, I am this. I'm not all of that. I am that space from which all of this is coming. And ask yourself the same questions. Does this awareness have a shape? It doesn't have a shape. It creates shapes. It gives rise to shapes, but itself has no shape. Does it have a form? Cannot find any form. Do you find any shape? Can you find a form? Can you find a color? All colors emerge from it. The millions of colors emerge from it, but does it itself have a color? The moment a color is experienced, that entire awareness takes on that color, becomes one with that color, merges with that color. But the moment the color disappears, it returns to its state of no trace of that color remains. So colorless, formless, shapeless, beginningless, endless. Okay, ऐसा सब लिखोगे about awareness. And this you can actually experience, and in some sense, not like an object, but you have some sense of this I, that I am this infinite space which doesn't come and go, and something to which the body comes and goes, but I am not that. So now take the two papers that you wrote and compare. Will you find any difference between this description of nothing एक तरफ description of nothing लिखा आपने, और एक तरफ लिखा description of this divine element called consciousness. And magic, no difference. You can't find a single difference between these two papers that you wrote. So once something is everything, the moment something is everything, it is automatically also nothing. Everything and nothing are just two sides of the same coin.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. And like Niyati asked yesterday, she's not here today, but she said, but it seems like it's somehow demotivating and I'm not going to do anything. But this is not a nothingness. It's a nothingness which is the potential in this nothingness is everything.
Yes.
Because let's take that experiment of describing even one step further. Supposing I told you that something is everything. Everything is this. This is everything. Not one thing, not two things, not million things, but everything is this. Write a description of this everything. Shape. No shape because it's everything. No color, no size, no stars, no start, no beginning, no end. So it's also everything. So nothing and everything, it's both. It's simply just one. So this is not a nothing of like a desolate or lonesome kind of a nothingness. It's not like the blackness of night. It is the nothing, it's the emptiness of infinity. It is the emptiness of fullness. It is the emptiness of full potential of everything. It is a, again, the minute you describe it, you are going one level above the nothing because actually it is nothing. So you actually cannot describe it at all because it is nothing. Because if it's the minute you describe it something, but just for the purpose of language, just for the purpose of communication, and just for the purpose of getting some like, it's like your eyes are closed and you're trying to find the way out, and somehow you get a sense ki yahan se thodi si hawa aa rahi hai, maybe the way out is that way. It's like that. In that way we can talk about this nothing. And so it is not the blackness of night and of desolation and desperation. Also, although it can be looked that way, also, it's not excluded, but this is the throbbing source of all that there is. It's the, the very womb of the universe, this nothingness. So it's not a dead nothingness. You understand what I'm saying? It's a nothingness which is full. I'm
Full of mystery.
losing words and so and it's so this is you, and you may not directly experience nothingness because there is nothing to experience. It's not an object, it's not a smell, it's not a sound, it's not, but it is there, it is in everything, it is from which everything comes. So far everything that we experience hides this nothingness because everything is something, no matter what it is something, and it hides the nothingness from which it emerges because we are so engrossed and so mesmerized by the things, the people, the objects, that we don't see the nothingness because we are engaged with something. But once we know that this everything is coming from that nothing, then we can be with that something as a revelation of nothing rather than a hiding of nothing. Because that is the only way we can possibly experience that nothing. It's when that nothing chooses to take form. It's when that nothing chooses to take shape, take color. That is when we can experience everything that appears becomes a vehicle and becomes an excuse to look through it and see that it is now revealing that nothing, revealing divine, revealing God, revealing consciousness, rather than hiding consciousness, rather than hiding the nothingness from which it comes. So it's just a flip like this. The world remains the same. The world remains full of things, full of people, full of everything, same as before. But instead of like this, it is now like this. So instead of hiding consciousness, hiding nothingness, it now becomes a vehicle to see this consciousness, see this nothingness from which it has emerged. And when we can operate at, and that is the same thing as find the love. Love is just one step, one step removed up from nothing. If nothingness has to take a shape, the first shape it will take, or the first experience, or the first thing that will emerge is love. Because without that, nothing else can happen. The universe emerges out of that. So the first step itself is love. And then everything else layered on top of the love till we are sometimes blinded and we cannot see that love. So when we saying that find the love, find the love, find the love, it's going as close as possible that you possibly can as in this human form to the actual experience of nothing. That's as close as we get. That's as close as we can get. So at least let's get as close as we can. Even if we can't directly experience nothingness. It's
But
like the fish. It's like the
uh,
fish cannot experience water. The fish can never experience water at all, ever. Especially the fish that are in near the bottom of the ocean. They can never experience water because there is nothing else. So similarly, we cannot directly experience nothing because that's all there is. वहीं से उसी में हम तैर रहे हैं. We are swimming in it. We are in it, off it, by it, through it. So the closest we can come is love. So find the love. Huh? What are you saying?
but this is also is a constant practice, because there is no end to it. For example, even if I understand that love is the solution of everything, but if I start missing out my these sessions, or if I start, you know, uh, if I become busy or something, I see that my filter is again going back to its previous form. So there is no
Sure.
end to this practice as well. Or is there a end to this practice and you forever see this without even practicing it?
I think it's supposed to be a way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a way of life. But what she's saying is, do you have to practice it? Do you have to practice this? Yeah, I mean, it's like a reminder. It's like a reminder because the mind is constructed in a way that we get mesmerized by things and we forget. It gets clouded over, and then you bring yourself to this or book or anything, whatever it takes. It could be music, it could be your child, it could be cooking, it could be your business. It doesn't have to be only open door. It can be anything. Anything can reveal, remind, and take you back to where you belong. So whatever it takes. Uh, and if this, then so be it. But it's not the only one.
Right.
Uh, Yeah. And so your question is does it end? Uh, well, it goes on till it goes on. I mean, I don't think there is any definite there. I mean, nothingness creates all this story. This story is the story of your life, the story of my life. And we continue to play this particular game called forgetting and remembering until till the game goes on. So it ends when the game ends.
Right. Thank you so much.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for bringing up these kind of questions. I encourage everyone to bring up these kind of questions. Please think deeply on whatever is being said here. Put it into practice. Wherever you hit a roadblock or an obstacle, let's look at it. Raise that question. आप कह रहे हैं ऐसे करता है, किया मैंने, ऐसा हुआ. What does it mean? Now what?
मुझे एक बात पूछनी थी.
Sure.
जैसे ये अभी बात हो रही थी कि we have to practice. ये प्रैक्टिस से आता है या स्पॉन्टेनियसली आता है?
Right.
It comes spontaneously. और जहाँ तक मुझे समझ में आया कि
It comes spontaneously. Yeah.
जैसे जैसे साइलेंस बढ़ता है तो ये अपने आप उभर के आता है. ये और ये फेजेस देखा है कि जहाँ डीप साइलेंस में है वो अपने आप मतलब कोई चीज है, मेरी बैग भी है, उससे भी मतलब उसको हैंडल करने का तरीका मेरा इतना प्रेम से और इसे इतना जेंटल हो जाता है. मेरे कपड़े भी है, मेरे मतलब मैं कोमिंग भी करता हूँ, तो जो मतलब नॉन लिविंग चीजें है उनके साथ भी मेरा बिहेवियर चेंज हो जाता है.
Of course.
और वो स्टेट सिर्फ मैं जब सेटल्ड हूँ, नथिंगनेस में हूँ या साइलेंस में हूँ, तब वो सब चीजें उभर के आती है,
ऑटोमेटिक होती है.
और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये प्रैक्टिस से बोले तो फिर से वो डूइंग होगा, और प्रैक्टिस बोले तो फिर से वो लेफ्ट ब्रेन वाला एक्शन होगा, और ये करने से नहीं होगा, उसमें इरिटेशन ही होगा. मैं कर रहा हूँ लेकिन नहीं जम रहा, ये हो नहीं रहा, यही उसमें से आएगा. लेकिन ये जब अपने आप उसमें उतर जाएंगे तो वो स्पॉन्टेनियसली आता है. आज मुझे एक बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस मुझे शेयर करना था. तो आपने जब से मैं जब से ज्वाइन किया ना, मैं इतना ज्यादा एक्साइटेड हूँ, 4-5 बार वो अनम्यूट करने की कोशिश किया.
अच्छा.
तो आज थोड़ा सा जेनिफर माँ से मैं थोड़ा इरिटेट भी हो गया. ये इतने स्ट्रिक्ट क्यों है?
करेक्ट.
क्योंकि वो मुझे ऐसे लग रहा था कि आज मैं जो एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा था, क्या कनेक्शन है, क्या लिंक है, पता नहीं, लेकिन मुझे एक एक वर्ड आपका ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैं एक्सप्रेस कर पाया हूँ. आज मैं अमरावती का 2-3 मिनट लूं.
या गो अहेड.
मैं आज अमरावती गया था. अमरावती यहाँ से 300-350 किलोमीटर है, 3-3.5 घंटे का रास्ता है. तो ट्रेन से गया, ट्रेन से आया. तो आते वक्त का मेरा एक्सपीरियंस था, वहां जो जिन किसी से मिला मैं इतना सेटल्ड, काम और ऐसे आ रहा, मैं फ्लोटिंग आ रहा था बिल्कुल, कि मैं रास्ते ऐसे लग रहा था मुझे रास्ते पे चल नहीं रहा हूँ, मैं फ्लो हो रहा हूँ, ऐसे स्टेट में था मैं. और आने के बाद ट्रेन में बैठा तो ट्रेन में सामने 2 लोग थे. एक बच्चा था जो ऑल द टाइम पढ़ रहा था और कुछ प्रिपेयर कर रहा था, नोट्स निकाल रहा था, और दूसरा आदमी बैठा था, वो अपनी बैग, जगह खाली थी, एसी का कंपार्टमेंट, जगह खाली थी, लेकिन अपना बैग लेके ऐसे गोद में लेके और वो मोबाइल देख रहा है. मैं काफी देर तक देखते रहा. फिर वो जिसके इसमें बैग थी, मुझे रहा नहीं, क्या बोला ये बोझा क्यों अपने, मतलब इतनी जगह है, बाजू में क्यों नहीं रख रहा, क्यों नहीं रहा गया. तो थोड़ी देर बाद में बोला ये आप इतना बोझा क्यों संभाल रहे, ये बाजू में रख दो ना. वो एकदम ख्याल है, अरे मेरा ख्याल ही नहीं, बोले ये बोझे के साथ भी मैं कंफर्टेबल हूँ.
वही we are so used to the load. Yeah.
तो एक जोक भी किया मैंने, बोला ये दाग जैसे अच्छे होते वैसे बोझा भी अच्छा होता है
क्या?
जैसे वो ऐड है ना, दाग
हाँ,
अच्छे होते हैं, वैसा बोला ये बोझ भी
हाँ.
अच्छा होता है क्या?
ये बोझ भी अच्छा होता है क्या?
तो
दाग
वो
भी
एक
अच्छे होते हैं.
जेस्चर के बाद वो इतना खुल गया. और दूसरा बच्चा जो था, जो पढ़ रहा था ऑल द टाइम, तो उसको कोई डिस्टर्ब भी कर रहा था ना, तो मैं उसको प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा था.
हाँ.
मतलब कोई लाइट लगा दिया, किसी ने कोई कुछ कर रहा है, तो मैं कर्टन खींच के उसको ये कर रहा हूँ. और पता नहीं, जब से मेरा स्टेशन आया और मैं उससे बात भी नहीं किया, मैं उसको जानता भी नहीं था, लेकिन मैं उसको बोलता ऑल द बेस्ट।
राइट।
तो खड़ा हो गया उठ के, बोले अंकल आपको कैसे पता? बोला आप जब से इतने मतलब ट्रेन में
सिंसियरली
बैठने
पढ़
के
रहे
बाद
हो।
के ऐसे ढंग से उसमें इन्वॉल्व हो। तो फिर बोले मेरा कल इंटरव्यू है, बोले, और मुझे वो जब मैंने उसको विषय दिया और उसका जो ये था, तो वो जो फीलिंग्स है
कनेक्शन,
ना, तो मैं
हाँ,
वो वर्ड में नहीं डिस्क्राइब कर सकता। मुझे भी इतना अच्छा लगा, और वो तो
ब्यूटीफुल।
आके मेरे से ऐसे जैसे वो हक कर लिया उसने, थैंक यू
अरे
बोला।
वाह, वाह,
तो ये
देयर यू गो,
मतलब
दिस इज
ये
इट।
अपने आप हो सकता है, और
अपन,
मैंने सोचा भी नहीं था किसी के लिए
राइट।
कुछ करना है या ये, लेकिन तो सामने वाला, और ये फीलिंग अभी भी मुझे याद है कि वो बैग लेके बैठा है, बैग वो लेके बैठा है, मुझे कुछ लेना देना नहीं, लेकिन
करेक्ट।
मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये बोझ क्यों संभाल रहा है, मुझे
क्यों
बोझ हो
संभाल
रहा
रहे
है।
हैं? या
तो बोला यार ये बैग बाजू में रख दो ना।
तेरा मंगल हो, तेरा मंगल हो, एग्जैक्टली वो भावना जो है वही आ
हाँ,
रही थी।
और आप जब वो
तेरा
बता रहे
मंगल।
थे हर चीज, तो मुझे इतना मजा आ रहा था वो सुन सुन के।
वही रिलेट हो रहा है, वही। हाँ,
थैंक यू।
करेक्ट, 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 ब्यूटीफुल। या या सो द सो द जो बोल रहे अल्टीमेटली स्पॉन्टेनियस होगा तभी उसका कोई मतलब है। वो जोर जबरदस्ती करोगे तो कोई मजा भी नहीं है, और वो कोई उसमें आनंद नहीं है। So spontaneously, ultimately it is spontaneous, but until it is spontaneous, practice. Practice until it happens on its own. That's what. So it's not one versus the other. It's not कि ये करे या वो करे, ऐसा नहीं है, दोनों चाहिए. Practice until it is spontaneous,
Sir, it
which
is like,
is,
are you there? Yes, I am there.
huh.
That way, we need to remind ourselves.
Yeah, you need to remind yourself, I am there, and what are the qualities of that? And then I'm love, and I am joy, and I am truth, and I'm beauty. And now once you start behaving like that spontaneously, because just practicing asking that question से कोई मतलब नहीं, कोई फायदा नहीं है. Are you there? I am there. Okay, so what? But when you take it forward and it becomes a spontaneous you being loving, feeling like protecting a stranger, like that lady said, there are no strangers, only friends that you haven't made yet. So that boy that was in front of Purushottamji was not a stranger. It was friend that he had not yet made. And he made friends with that little boy before he got off the train. So the are you there? Yes, but then take it all the way and start living that, like Jennifer ji said, way of life. Until it becomes a way of life, that you need to keep on going there. And then even when it becomes a way of life, we forget, and then we have to be reminded. And then whatever it takes to remind, let that happen. And anyway, it's not in our hands, by the way. ये सब बातें हैं, अपने आप सब चल रहा है. ये रिमाइंड होना is just grace. Remind nahi hona is disgrace.
Sir, I just wrote in the chat.
Yeah, and so that way, so it's all happening by grace. Agar practice is hona hai, agar to practice hogi, और spontaneously होना है तो होगा. In the meantime, we
पुरुषोत्तम जी,
enjoy the ride.
अभी लव आ रहा है कि स्पॉन्टेनियसली आ रहा है कि इरिटेशन आ रहा है मेरे तरफ?
नहीं माँ, वो तो जस्ट इरिटेशन वर्ड मैंने यूज किया, लेकिन गुस्सा भी था, लेकिन मतलब ये माँ करने क्यों नहीं दे रही है?
Unmute.
हाँ,
Wonderful.
Sir, one more point
Wonderful.
which I wrote in the chat.
I know, but okay, I'm running out of time. So
Sir,
we will,
but only one question. When there is nothing, then questions don't arise at all. Na?
no, out of nothing comes everything. Remember? Out of nothing comes everything. The whole universe emerges out of this nothing, including all the questions. It comes out of
But
nothing.
then
It's
if questions are there, then where is it nothing? Again, something is there.
yes, out of nothing comes something, and out of
So
that something,
again, goal.
kya goal?
From nothing to something, something to nothing. Again, something to nothing.
So, okay, then in that itself, I can ask you a million questions. How is it happening? Why is it happening? To whom is it happening? Who is the person to whom this is happening? What does it mean for me in my life? How do I use it to live a better life? I can ask you a million.
Hello?
I don't know how much you heard, but I was saying that even just in this nothing to something, something to everything, everything is nothing. Even in that one cycle, 100 questions can pop up immediately. What does it mean? What does it mean for me? How does it happen? Why does it happen? How do we live like that, knowing that nothing is everything is nothing? What does it mean to live like that? So just because it is a circle doesn't mean it's the end of it. It's just a circle. Great, wonderful to be continued as
आज
always.
आज
Thank
का
you.
सेशन
Thank you.
ऐसा है
हाँ,
आज का सेशन ऐसा है कि इसमें से आपने जो बातें बोली ना वो इतने प्रोफाउंड और इतने डीप थी कि वो बार बार सुन के उसमें और उतर सकते बहुत ही
absolutely.
मतलब अपने अल्टीमेट के लेवल तक ले जाए। तो आप जो बोल रहे थे रिक्तता और रिक्तता के बाद वो पूर्णत्व, आप बोले कि मुझे वर्ड नहीं मिल रहे, उस
Right.
समय आप ऐसी स्टेट में आ गए कि जो
Yeah.
पूर्ण मतलब साइन इन्होंने सबने डिस्क्राइब किया है कि सब शून्य है और शून्य में ही पूर्णत्व है।
शून्य में ही पूर्णत्व है.
वो लेकिन
Exactly.
आप वो सारा इक्वेशन डिराइव करते करते वो स्टेज पे आए,
Exactly.
वो बहुत ही
It
अल्टीमेट
was
था।
it was a wonderful journey, wonderful process. Thank you, thank you, thank you. तेरा मंगल सबका मंगल होवे. Thank you, thank you, thank you.